Hello, I'm Sifu Matt Lovio. I'd like to welcome you to my Chin-Na series here on the net. Before I go any further, I just want to thank you all so much. If you paid, hopefully, if you paid attention this far to my series. Sadly, unfortunately, for now, I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to have to be taking a little break. Unfortunately, these videos are a lot harder than they look to manage, to be able to tape and record and just get at the right angle. And more unfortunately, for your time and the time and patience of your partners. In this case, being my brother, who has been so kind and generous to volunteer his time to help me out with this series, which I am so grateful for. And just as important, if not more importantly, our good dear friend Fernando Rivera. Freddie has been instrumental for this series, and without these two gentlemen, this series would not be possible, and I cannot thank them and profusely enough. Thank you so much, both of you, for helping me. And to those of you out there who have been watching this video series, who hopefully have stuck with me thus far, I hope you like them. Again, to reiterate, I welcome all comments. Please, not just good, especially the bad. I want to do this the first time, the right time, and I cannot do that with just sugary type of nice comments. Be brutal. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Okay, now, before we go on this video, sadly, unfortunately, we'll be taking a break. Again, to reiterate, we'll be taking a break from this series, and that hopefully in the near future, not far future, we'll be coming back to you and bringing you more of the 21 fundamental techniques of CA or the late great Grandmaster David German's brand of Chin-Na. Now, instead of me here just talking, let's get to the nitty-gritty. You know my rule. I first preface the techniques so you can see the linking chain of what they look like combined together, or rather, in sequence together. Notice when I do the techniques, again, my partners here, they let me know an important thing. They're asking Sifu, like, or Matt, why are you doing it in such a slow manner? It kind of looks like Tai Chi type of thing, where you're doing the slow Tai Chi type of movements. No, that's further from the truth. Remember, this martial art we're doing is called Chin-Na, not Tai Chi. It has nothing to do with Tai Chi. It's a totally complete different application. Chin-Na is done not fast, but it's definitely not done slow, like Tai Chi slow, but rather it's done, I suppose you would say, medium, in the middle. It's done in the middle. That way, the techniques, when we do the techniques, we don't go fast. If we go too fast, you might hear that's a breaking bone of your opponent, or your partner, if not you. You did Chin-Na the wrong way if you heard bones breaking. The idea is to control someone with as least as much damage or no pain or no broken bones as possible. You break something, you screwed up. Especially if you broke something of your own body. So again, it's not too fast and it's definitely not too slow. It's in the middle. It's medium speed. Observe, please. Again, let's show a different angle. Farmer removes the oxen's yoke. Little child bows to Buddha. Unlocking the door to open the gate. Soldier salutes the general. Grabbing the horn to control the bull. Praying mantis climbs the pagoda. Chin Fa Yi, or the first handset. Pointy elbow, and now we'll be demonstrating the Shuai Jiao Throw. Now, why is it called the Shuai Jiao Throw? Well, pretty much because, remember, as I mentioned before in the very first video I did, the history of Chin-Na, hopefully you've seen it. I mentioned before the history of Chin-Na goes like this, where the art descends from China's oldest martial art on record, which is basically the Chinese martial art of Shuai Jiao. You can see that there on the side of my uniform. Shuai Jiao. Shuai Jiao is, as you saw there on the side of my uniform, is the ancient Chinese art of wrestling, if you will. Shuai Jiao is the oldest martial art of China's record, 5,000 years old. But remember, 5,000 years ago, it was not called Shuai Jiao. It was called a different name. It was called Jiao Li. And then a couple thousand years later, it evolved to an art that the Chinese then started calling Jiao Di. And then from Jiao Di came Chin-Na, the grappling aspect of the Chinese martial arts, not the throwing. because Shuai Jiao is obviously a wrestling art. It has what? Throws. Throws, throws, throws. Nothing but throws. Chin Na is grappling. It's a hodgepodge of techniques, as we've seen. It has not just joint locking techniques, it also has chokeholds, it has pins, it has ground fighting, it also has striking techniques. The handsets, for example, are evident of that. In this case, we're going to show the Shuai Jiao influence or the aspect of Chin Na. And the good part about it is, you don't have to use a microscope to study this particular brand of Chin Na. I mean, it's smack dab right in front of your face. Let's see the Shuai Jiao Throw. Okay, ready? Now, I have to warn you, ladies and gentlemen, sadly, unfortunately, Freddie has had very little experience with breakfall techniques. And so because of this, I cannot and I will not take a chance of practicing the throwing techniques with Freddie himself. Just a note, any of you out there, if you paid attention to my previous videos on breakfall techniques, the Da Fa, or breakfall methods of Chin Na, if you will, very similar, almost also to Shuai Jiao, with it, unless you practice breakfall techniques, unless your training partner has had thorough understanding of the mechanics of breakball techniques, unless they studied it, you don't study throwing techniques with them. If you haven't studied it, you don't do the throwing techniques. Why? Because what can happen? Oh, I don't know. You can get hurt badly. You'll have to end up in the hospital, and it'll take time away from your Chin Na training. But you can skip all that and that danger by training in breakball techniques. So therefore, guess what? On this video, I'm not going to go over the breakball techniques. If you paid attention to the 3 other videos I did prior to all this, then you'll know what a breakball technique looks like and how to train on them. But for now, we'll go to the throwing techniques for those of you who had. And hopefully, if you haven't seen my breakball techniques, go back to them. They're still there, I hope. All right, now, how do we do this? With the Shuai Jiao technique, obviously, of course, it could be from a wrestling type of thing, a wrestling type of motion. Now, it's possible, if Freddie would come at me, say a punch, it's possible I could try to block, maybe do a strike, and then come across, and then do the throw, where I'm grabbing his wrist. My right arm is going under his armpit, and I raise up like this, and I use my hip, and also the right side of my ass, my right ass cheek, if you will, comes across here. I lower, and I raise. Well, I lower, my arm raises up, I stick that hip in, and I lift. And if you'll notice, when I lifted up poor Freddie, when you do these techniques, this is the training aspect I learned from my Japanese Jiu-Jitsu training days. When we were studying our throwing techniques in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, which is called Nagiwaza in Japanese. In Nagiwaza, or the throwing techniques of Jiu-Jitsu, I was taught you don't always have to throw your partner. It's more important to get the form, to get the grip, to get the setup, to come in and lift, So you don't always have to throw. I can throw Freddie this way, where I come across with my arm this way, using that hip to come in and lift. Or I can, in a wrestling type of situation, I can come across where I bring my leg in close, and I grab Freddie from behind, like say his belt, and I stick in and I lift up, and I can throw Freddie that way with a good old-fashioned hip throw. Or, say for example, what if he's a good fighter, and he sees me coming from wrestling, and he sees me coming from a mile away, trying to bring my leg in here, and I'm trying to do this throw. He sticks back his legs, and he's trying to resist me, and I can't come in this way because he's pushing me back with this arm, and I can't throw him. I can't come like this because he's pushing me back. What do? Panic? No. Here's what I do. I adapt. I could take my arm, raise it up, this left arm, grab here on the side, and throw him like that. Remember this motion I did with the arm? I can do it that way. All right, let's wrap it up real quick with the actual throw itself. Freddie's going to do it. I had to warn you, Freddie's had little practice with this throw. Please bear with him, okay? Okay, Freddie, right over here. Wrestling situation, Freddie's going to come under his arm. He's going to lift and pull and throw. And there we go. Very good. I'm afraid we'll have to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. But you've seen the possibility of what you can do with the Shuai Jiao Throw. Thank you very much, sir. All right, we're going to have to be wrapping this up. I'm going to be demonstrating the technique one last time. right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry. That'll be the end for now for the David German's brand of chin knot techniques. I'm hoping and praying in the near future, before the end of the summer, I'll be coming back to you to perform and demonstrate more of these techniques. Again, if you like, hit a like on it on the like bar. Please leave any and all comments. I welcome them all. Again, I'm a big boy. I can take it, even for the negative ones. Again, I thank you so much for your time, and I wish you the best of luck in your training. Remember, train smarter, not harder. Until then, take care of yourself, and to all those you know and love.